You know, I'm not going to do what I know a lot of y'all think I'm going to do. Y'all and yous guys. I'm not going to do what yous guys think I'm going to do, which is just completely freak out right now, man. But the Phillies really killed my vibe yesterday. They really killed my vibe. The Sixers tried to kill my vibe, but I was so still looking forward and still riding a high from the Phillies game 1 victory over the Padres. And I'm like, Sixers, it's one game into the season, 82, 81 of these left. We're good to go. And then they got Aaron Nola on the bump, and you feel good about yourself. And the Phillies bats get out to a 4-0 lead. And then Nola gives back 2 of those runs on solo shots, completely different home runs. One a wall scraper, the other a blast. And then the 5th inning. And when it was 4-2 going into that 5th inning, I didn't think that the wheels were going to come off quite like they did for Cliff Lee. And I know a lot of people made the reference for game 2 of the NLDS against the Cardinals back in 2011. But man, it had those vibes. It was actually worse. I mean, people were really making that comparison yesterday. And yeah, it definitely gave me flashbacks to that, especially once you got up 4-0. Which is exactly what the lead was when Cliff Lee got the ball in that, or when Cliff Lee was pitching in that game. But this was a lot worse than that. I think Cliff Lee still only allowed 4 runs in that game. This was 6 runs on 7 hits, and like 1 was against the brother, and a lot of drama and storylines that just went into it. And then the other thing was Aaron Nola was up in so many counts, like 1-2 counts, 0-2 counts, and then he would just either make a mistake or a guy like Soto, for instance, just jumped on. I think Nola said after the game it was a fastball. It was registered as a sinker, but it was inside. It was off the plate, and Soto just jumped all over it. And that was the pitch that ended up making it a tie ball game, 4-4. And you leave him in to face Machado, and he gets Machado, and then you take him out for Hand versus Cronenworth, which just didn't make any sense to me, but we'll get into that. Just overall reaction to the game, complete gut punch, complete disappointment, and unfortunately, the Cliff Lee comment does rear its ugly head here. And I know it's not comforting to a lot of people, but I find it somewhat comforting for myself, and that's baseball. It sucks. There's a lot of things we can debate, and we will as the show goes on today, but just to give you the overall reaction, I'm not going to lose my mind over game 2 of a 7-game series where the Phillies did their job, which is every team's job. Yes, it's great to win both games. That's also very difficult. However, they took game 1. They lost game 2. They did the same thing in Atlanta. That was only a 5-game series. This is a 7-game series with a 2-3-2 format. So the Phillies have the next 3 games at home. They got to face the San Diego Padres. Not only have to face Ranger Suarez, who's had a hell of a year for himself and a lineup that was mashing all year for the most part, but they have to face the Citizens Bank Park crowd. They have to face the Phillies fans. And I had that confidence about me during yesterday's show, and I'm not going to let this one game ruin any of that. Because if there's anything that I can have faith in, it's that the San Diego Padres are going to be walking into a pretty dangerous and intimidating environment. So, hey, get on them. Get your souvenir cups down at CBP. Yeah, one more sip. Get your spiked cider there. Get your spiked whatever the hell else it is they got there. Whatever's got the Jim Beam in it. Just have yourself a good time. And make sure you go in there and you look to intimidate, because the Phillies are going to need to pick me up after this. Gene Segura talked about it after the game. He's looking forward to getting back to CBP, playing at home. Bryce Harper, as you would expect, talked about it. Aaron Nola talked about it after the game. Rob Thompson talked about it after the game. They are looking for that 10th man out there on the field, and you are going to be that, Philadelphia. So that I'm not concerned with. Sixers have their home opener tonight against the Bucks. We'll get into that. The Bucks haven't played yet this season. Ben Simmons officially made his Nets debut yesterday. We got some good times and good things to talk about with that game. Flyers, speaking of buzzkills, man, come on. They lose their first game of the season. Dropped to 3-1, 3-1-0 on the season. And it was a tough one. It was a bit of a tough one. We'll talk about that coming up in a minute. All right, so what do we do with the Phillies? What do we do with Rob Thompson's decision-making in that 5th inning? I got to be honest with you. I was shocked he didn't have anyone up in the bullpen before Juan Soto stepped to the plate. I was shocked. Guys were barreling up Aaron Nola. Now, the question came up after the game about location, pitch location. Before I really dissect it, I'm going to do something I normally don't do on the show. I'm going to get to the clips early because I want you guys to hear from the actual people that had to do with this. So if you turn the game off late, maybe you turned it off after Machado's home run late in the ball game, and you're like, okay, I think I'm good now. If you didn't watch post game, whatever, I want you to hear from Aaron Nola. I want you to hear from Rob Thompson. Here is Aaron Nola after the disappointing game last night. We got charged for 6 runs. Nola on what went wrong.
Yeah, they're hitting fastball pretty well. A couple missed locations, like a couple of decent pitches, but they were on them.
So you just didn't have the control of the fastball or command like you usually do? Or?
Yeah, I felt like I did. I felt like I had decent control. They put some good swings on it. You know, I got to go back and look and see if they were sitting on those fastballs late in the count, but they put some good swings on them.
Are there any specific pitches that you would really regret when you're looking back on it right now?
Yeah, all the ones I gave up runs on. I mean.
All right. Nola's been great. I'm not going to kill him for this performance. It was not good. It was no bueno. But I went ahead and I went back because I had a feeling. I was like, I didn't think he was wild. I didn't think that he lost velo. I didn't think he was terrible at that point in the game. No, excuse me. I didn't think he was terrible as far as location went. Okay. For the most part, I felt like he was hitting the spot that JT Realmuto was putting his mitt. So I went back and I just looked specifically at the location again, just to make sure I wasn't missing anything crazy. The Drury home run, which was the wall scraper in the second inning, that one was a miss. That one was a missed spot. Went way up in the zone, and Drury jumped all over it. The Bell home run, if you want to be really particular, he missed by a hair. It was a little bit up in the zone and high, but for the most part, it was at JT Realmuto's mitt, so the idea was right. It wasn't like JT was lining up outside corner and Nola came in, high and middle of the plate, which is what he did to Drury essentially. Then in the 5th inning, Kim, it was a good pitch. He went down and got it. It was actually low in the zone. Nola then came up with the RBI single. That was his brother who got the RBI single, of course. That made it 4-3. That pitch was up in the zone. He missed his spot there. Profar single up in the zone on a curveball, little too high there, hung it up a little bit there. And then the Soto pitch was an inside, again, sinker, according to StatCast. And then Nola, I think, referred to it after the game there as a fastball, but came inside 94 miles per hour off the plate on the hands. When Soto hit it, I was like, oh, that's a foul ball. Like I thought, okay, fouled away. And it ended up being an RBI double. And, of course, the game-tying double as well. But that, I thought, was a good pitch to pitch inside, and Soto jumped all over it. So, yes, when Aaron Nola does go back and look at the tape, I think he is going to notice that guys were jumping all over his pitches and waiting on either that fastball or waiting on that sinker and trying to clobber it. Because that's what you ended up seeing with Kim's leadoff. That's what you ended up seeing with Nola. And then Profar was the curveball. Soto apparently was a fastball or sinker in the inside corner. Not even the inside corner. It was a ball. And he swung at it. Now, here's where I have an issue. And I don't want to make any bones about it. I love Rob Thompson. I'm not going to say he should be fired, anything stupid like that after a game like that. But if you're going to leave Aaron Nola in through all of that, and you're not even going to have anybody up in the pen, despite the fact that it's now a 4-3 ball game and he's already given up 2 home runs and he got runners on base, and you're not going to even get anybody warmed up yet before Soto, then I'm thinking, all right, we're going to see if Nola can sink or swim here. So what ends up happening? He ends up leaving Nola in to face Machado. Ballsy. He gets out of that by striking out Machado on 4 pitches. And then, instead of leaving him in for one more batter to get the 3rd and final out of the inning and then just stopping the damage in a tie ball game, he decides to go to the bullpen for Brad Hand, who, by the way, is not very good with runners on base. Inherited runners scored a whopping 53%. I heard Ben Davis gave that stat. Also, his batting average, opponent batting average, the on-base percentage in that situation is over 400. if you're facing Brad Hand with runners on, if Brad Hand is coming in with inherited runners on base, Brad Hand gives up an on-base percentage of over 400. That's not good for that situation. Because guess what? Runners were on. I would have left. If Manny Machado, if he just got Manny Machado to strike out, I'm leaving Aaron Nola in to face Cronenworth because he struck out Cronenworth twice already in the ball game. He's got his number. And he settled in, and he got Machado, and he's not erratically wild, and his velo's not dropping off the charts here. I'm leaving him in for one more batter. I wouldn't have done it before Machado, but the fact that he faced Machado, got him out, he had one more out to get, and it was Cronenworth, a 240 hitter, I'm leaving Nola in. I'm giving him that one more batter. It's only a tie ball game at that point, and I don't think Brad Hand's that good. And if in the back of your mind, you're thinking you're not going to use Alvarado, you're not going to be using Sir Anthony Dominguez earlier, and I think those two moves would have been more panic moves than anything, and you're not going to use even Zach Eflin in that situation, who, by the way, if your starter's only giving you at that point 4 2/3, that's like the perfect spot to use the former starting pitcher that is now converted to the bullpen. I'd rather use Zach Eflin in a spot like that than to be your automatic closer, as I have been saying, which it seems like he has been kind of pushed out of that. Not pushed, but hasn't been, it doesn't seem like that's his role anymore. Let's put it that way. After game one's performance by Dominguez and Alvarado. So for me, after Nola gets Machado, I'm leaving him in for one more batter because that one more batter is a 240 hitter and a 240 hitter that you've already K'd twice. It's a weird thing. I didn't even want Nola to face Soto. He didn't get Soto. And then he faces Machado. And I'm like, okay, we're still okay. All right, let's see how this one goes. And then he takes him out. Rob Thompson takes him out and puts in Brad Hand, who hits Cronenworth and allows the inning to continue. And things continue to spiral out of control after that. Here's Rob Thompson after the game talking about the decisions that went into that fifth inning debacle.
Probably missing his spots a little bit. I thought he battled pretty well, but we got to the fifth inning there, and it was just a lot of hard contact. And then he got Machado, and I decided to go to Brad because it's probably the best matchup we got coming out of the bullpen. So to try and end that inning right there, and unfortunately, a little slider got away from him.
But by going to Brad there, it's a good matchup, but you risk, if he doesn't get Cronenworth, how great of a risk is it with the righties behind there?
Yeah, I mean, that's the 3-batter rule, but that's the rule, and you got to live with it. But he, he's had a lot of success, veteran guy. I thought that was the right guy to go to, even though that you've got Drury and Bell behind him. Drury got the base hit. It wasn't really hit all that hard, and it looked like Bell didn't even know he hit where he hit the ball. He just kind of inside out of it. So anyway, that's the way it is.
Is that too early for Alvarado there? Or?
Yeah, especially pitching yesterday.
One thing I did find funny was that, Bell had no idea where that ball went. When he hit that ball, he was looking up to see if he fouled it away or what the hell happened. And next thing you know, he looks down and it's past Rhys Hoskins at first base. So that was weird. I don't really see that too often, and apparently he lost it. I don't know. It's like when you swing in golf, you're like, where did it go? Anyone have eyes on it? I got it. It opens up over there. Terrible shot. I shoot 110. So I thought that was weird. The other thing that was rattling around in my brain is if it's not a panic move to use Alvarado in that situation, and that's kind of how I felt, the opposite side of that is that the hell with panic. You need your best pitchers in your toughest situations. And that might be a spot you use Alvarado. That's the argument for using Alvarado. And then this is where baseball becomes really funny. Oh, you couldn't use Alvarado because you used him in the day before. Well, then maybe not pull Zach Wheeler, which I didn't kill Rob Thompson for at the time. Maybe then don't use Alvarado as early as you use him. Maybe Sir Anthony Dominguez comes in. Maybe you give Zach Wheeler one more inning against the Padres. Maybe give him one more inning and then use Sir Anthony Dominguez in the 8th and use Alvarado yesterday in the 5th. That's where baseball is even a funnier game. Oh, I can't use him because he pitched yesterday. I'm sorry, what? The bullpen guy can't pitch again? What was it, 20 hours in between appearances? Okay. Do you get a day off? Do you get a day off today? In yesterday's speak, do you get a day off tomorrow? Okay. He'll get the day off then, but I need him to pitch right now. But if that was going to go into your thinking of him all of a sudden not being available in yesterday's game, well then I would have left Zach Wheeler in yesterday to pitch at least one more inning than Sir Anthony Dominguez pitched the ninth. Excuse me. What the hell, man? It all unraveled. Yesterday. And it unraveled in that fifth inning. Yes, a big part of me is that's baseball. Another part of me is what could you do to avoid it? At that point, though, I honestly did think after he got Manny Machado, I thought Rob Thompson was going to stick with Nola. Okay, settled in, got him on 4 pitches. Nice to see you. Now go face Cronenworth. And he got him out. And the 3-batter rule, for those that don't know, if a pitcher comes in from the bullpen, he's got to at least finish the half inning, or he's got to face 3 batters. So if Hand didn't get Cronenworth, he's got to face 3 batters until he gets either out of the inning, or you could face 3 batters and then get out of the inning. It didn't happen. Bilotti had to come in. Hey, look, hindsight's always 20/20. But in the moment, I can tell you, I was sitting here and I was looking at it and I was going, okay, so he's going to let Nola get out of this. And then I saw Hand coming out of the bullpen and I went, I don't like this. I don't like this a little bit. Why would you go with the righty matchup there and then not go to Croto? It doesn't make any damn sense to me. In the moment, I can tell you that. When I heard Rob Thompson after the game, though, say just that I just used Alvarado yesterday. I'm like, oh, you used the bullpen? You could use the bullpen guy 2 days in a row? No way. How novel. Now we got to give them, 5 days rest? Come on. My argument is more to Nola in the game than bringing in Hand in that situation. And it ended up being the right call. Well, it would have been the right call, at least. Hey, look, you leave Nola in there, then Cronenworth goes deep and whatever. But no, I didn't like that call by Rob Thompson. I thought that was a bad move. And Rob Thompson has done a hell of a job. And I'm about to play for you what makes Rob Thompson a good manager and why I still very much find him worthy of the 2-year contract extension. I'm not arguing against that. I'm arguing against one call. But here's Rob Thompson after the game, and this is why I think Rob Thompson has been such a good manager to the Phillies, and it's this type of attitude. When he was asked yesterday by David Murphy, Inquirer.com, about what you say to the team now that you're split at 1 game apiece.
What do you tell your team? It's kind of similar to last series, I guess.
Exactly. That's exactly what you tell them. We went into Atlanta, won the first one, lost the second one, disappointing game, and we had a day off and came back home in front of 46,000 raucous people and played really well. So I expect to do the same thing.
That attitude right there is just it. What's the message now that you're tied in this series? Is it similar? Yeah. Well, that's it right there. You just tell him the same thing. He's cool. He's cool Topper is what he is. He's cool Rob is what he is. Cool Thompson. That's what he is. I like that attitude. And like when we spoke to Brett Myers the other day, players, managers need to have that type of mindset. Like that no panic type of mindset. Like it's all going to be okay type of thing. When the Phillies were going through it in September, he was the same guy. And he flat out said, this team is going to make the playoffs. It's just a matter of when we're going to make the playoffs. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And it's like, Rob, you're 4 games under 500 again in September. This team is 4 games under 500 again in September. I'm not sure about the playoffs. Brewers are right on your heels. This team is going to make the playoffs. It's a matter of when. That clubhouse has got to relax. Love that attitude. And I'm going to be honest with you. I am usually, you guys could probably pick this up about me. I'm a very emotional man. And watching the game yesterday, I'm going through all the emotions. And then after the game, I was like, okay, I have to breathe. I'm not going to completely lose my mind right now. Not going to do that. And I maintain that idea that I'm not going to go completely insane right now. I'm going to be like Philly Rob. And you know what I need? Here's what I need. I need like a little Christmas cheer. I think that's what I need. And I know some of you are thinking, oh, it's time for the Penguin. Oh, no, it's not time for the Penguin. You know what it's time for? I think I need Jason Kelce singing Christmas carols. So I apologize if that blew out your speakers. Jason Kelce apparently is coming out with a Christmas album with Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson and Connor Barwin on vocals. And it looked like they had a lot of fun putting that one together. Little gentleman Jack Daniels going out there. One of my favorite drinks of choice. Not for nothing. So that looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Is there anything Jason Kelce can't do? Plays the saxophone. He delivers great Super Bowl speeches, which I hope is something that we get to see again. That'd be nice. He has a great podcast with his brother. That's pretty good. And he's just a Hall of Fame center. So let's see. Is there anything else? No, I think that covers it all. He's a great interview. Great guy to talk to. Funny guy. And now Christmas album is coming out there. I do enjoy the idea of Jordan Mailata, who is quite the accomplished singer, singing backup vocals. Now, I would assume that he's going to have a couple of lead vocals on this new album that's coming out. Connor Barwin tweeted that out yesterday, in case you didn't see Connor Barwin's name up there. Connor Barwin tweeted that out yesterday. And I think, you know what? It's exactly what we need right now. A little Christmas cheer. Something to help us bridge the gap between Game 2 and Game 3 of the NLCS. That's what we needed. And it just happened to drop at the right time. The day the Phillies blow a 4-run lead in the playoffs, Jason Kelce releases that. Thank you, Jason. You're not even playing this week. You get your bye week, and you're already making me feel better about things. Way to go there, buddy. Thank you. Yeah, I'll be buying that album. I'll be playing a couple of more snippets on this here program because I think we all need it. You know, I know somebody's doing the Christmas Penguin all the time, and you know what? No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to spoil you like that. No. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to throw you some curveballs. I'm going to hit my spots when I do it. But that was pretty fantastic. That was pretty fantastic yesterday. Coordinators addressed the media yesterday. Nothing really jumped out to me about that. It was all great things, all kind things, all amazing things. Everyone's great. That's fine. Ben Simmons made his Nets debut yesterday. He fouled out, I think, in the first minute of the fourth quarter. And he had 4 points, I think it was, and 5 assists, 5 rebounds as well. And Ben Simmons played 21 minutes in his Nets debut. And I just thought for poops and giggles, here's his shot chart. Oh, no way. Both shots were right there in that half circle, right under the basket. You don't say. That's amazing. Oh, Marky's the center now. Yeah, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Just, oh, who cares? He's not here anymore. Get over it. Yeah, but if he does do well there, then it's the I told you so from everybody else, and that's a really annoying thing. So while he's not doing the thing, and he's doing the thing that we told you so that he would be doing, then I'm going to continue to spike the football on that one. So just one more time. There's a little shot chart there. Little shot chart, Ben Simmons. Not very good at basketball. That's the point. Anyway, so that happened. Nets got embarrassed yesterday. It was not good for them. Sixers do make their home debut tonight against the Milwaukee Bucks, another top contending team in the Eastern Conference. So right after the Boston Celtics, they continue this run against playoff teams to open up their season. A bit of a rough stretch here for the Sixers, but hey, might as well get it out of the way now, right? Here's what I was very much impressed with in Game 1, and I'm hoping I see more of Game 2 of 82. James Harden looked unbelievable in Game 1. And I know we didn't get a big chance to talk about it because we had a lot to talk about with Game 1 of the NLCS, and rightfully so. But in this particular game, the first game of the season against the Celtics, James Harden looked like the fountain of youth. As we always say, though, it's a long season. But if you're going to start out like that, hitting step-back threes, setting up your teammates, dropping 30-plus points, drawing fouls, getting to the line. Hey, I thought that part of his game, and maybe this is a flash in the pan. Like I said, long season. Maybe it's a flash in the pan. But the fact that he even had that gear yesterday, or 2 days ago, that was the best I've seen James Harden play with a Sixers uniform on. That was by far the best I've seen him play with this. That was Houston James Harden that I saw in Game 1. Give me that one more time tonight at least. Let me see that it could be that extra gear continued. Let's get a run of that. In the middle of the season, need a little break, and take a little break. You know, and let Maxey run things. Let Joel Embiid take over the game. Let those guys handle their business. But if somehow magically you are in the best shape of your career, literally, not just, well, I'm in the best shape of my career. If you're in the best shape of your career and you're in the happiest place you've been in a long time, since maybe your days of being the MVP in Houston, and you're healthy, then yeah, maybe James Harden does have a little bit more left in the tank. And let's not forget something here. Conspiracy theories aside, and I don't even think it's that much of a conspiracy to think the Sixers got away with some kind of illegal money management here with what they're paying James Harden. But he's on a 2-year deal, essentially. He's betting on himself. So what that means is he's still playing for his next contract. And that's a great motivating factor. So let's just think about this for a second here. If I told you coming into the season that James Harden was going to be looking like an MVP again, which he did in one game, the opener, but it was still an eyebrow-raising type of performance. If I told you that before the season, or you told me that before the season, I'd say, you're crazy. And then I watched it, and I said, okay, let me fly off the handle for a second here. What would make this legitimate? He would actually be in shape. He would actually be healthy, and he'd actually be happy. Happy to be in Philadelphia. Happy to be a member of the Sixers team. Happy to have PJ Tucker on his team right now. Happy to have a guy like Tyrese Maxey taking another step forward in his career. Happy to have an MVP candidate like Joel Embiid. Maybe he feels like I'd happy, obviously, above all else, to have his buddy Daryl Morey running the show. Maybe, just maybe. All those things combined is going to make James Harden look like a guy who, as I've mentioned many times before, Bobby Marks on ESPN was talking about how he could be an MVP candidate. He'll be in the MVP conversation this year. And I thought when I heard that 2 months ago, 3 months ago, oh, Bobby Marks is crazy. And then I'm like, James Harden looks pretty in shape. James Harden looks pretty healthy. James Harden looks pretty driven. If I'm getting that this year, then okay. Let me go crazy. This is my one game in the season, way too early prediction for James Harden. Oh, he's going to be good this year. He's going to be really damn good. But it's just crazy that 2 days ago, before the game, when I was talking about predictions, I told you what I wanted to see from James Harden, which is not the guy trying to be the MVP, not the guy to try to drive the lane and draw the contact, not get it, miss the shot, turnover, goes the other way, 2 points, complain to the official. Like, I didn't want to see him forced to have a lot of turnovers. I wanted to see him facilitate Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. I wanted him to be the great facilitator above all else with a 3-point shot, facilitating 3. That's what I said before the first game of the season. Then he comes out with that first game and the way he played in that game, and I'm thinking, oh, damn, son, this is looking pretty good. What if you have all those things combined that I just mentioned before, and he actually looks like an MVP from 4 years ago, 5 years ago? He looks like he did in Houston. What if Joel Embiid was wrong at the end of last season when he said James Harden's not that same guy? What if there's a lot of that left? What if there's a lot of that fuel left in that tank? Maybe he's just in the right situation. But I'm looking forward to seeing if James Harden can continue what we saw in Game 1 of the season. Bucks are up next. Give this hometown crowd a bit of a show. Give them a little bit more of a pick-me-up from what they got yesterday from the Phillies. Let's get the good vibes going again in this city. Devin Caney, I saw a tweet. I thought it was a great tweet. She tweeted out about it's basically how we're on a bender collectively as a city. And that's what it feels like. I'm watching the Phillies yesterday, and my wife comes over to say goodnight. We do live together. She didn't just come over the house. But my wife comes, she's like, I'm going to bed. She was like, you look exhausted. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to watch post game. And she's like, are you okay? And I was like, between the Sunday Night Football, then the 4:25 start, and then the Phillies starting, Sixers starting, Flyers starting, it's a lot. It's a lot of post games. It's a lot of things to follow. But like, I enjoy every second of it. I wouldn't rather be tired for any other reason other than kids. But that's it. I'll take the exhaustion. And every once in a while, if I'm going to get a performance like that from James Harden, all right, keep bringing it. We'll see it every single time. I enjoy it every single time. Let me tell you about Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right there on Jewelers Row. Steven's got the perfect price every day. online at IHateStevenSinger.com. And right there at the other corner of 8th and Walnut, go online. Check out all the great, beautiful, dazzling diamond inventory at Steven Singer Jewelers. One place, one price, the perfect price each and every day. Online at IHateStevenSinger.com. Now, what's the perfect price? The perfect price means that you're not going to have to go in there and worry about what the person next to you is paying. Oh, they got a better deal than I did? No, they got the same deal. You know why? Because they too got the perfect price. Other jewelers, you might hear somebody working, the person, the salesperson that's working there. Oh, I can do this, but how about this price? Why have that pressure when you just walk in and you know you're not getting taken advantage of by way too marked up jewelry? Oh, that's way too marked up. But at Steven Singer, you get the perfect price every day. Beautiful, dazzling diamonds, tennis bracelets, diamond earrings, diamond necklaces, everything. Steven Singer Jewelers, one place, one price, perfect price. Online at IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. Let me tell you about the wonderful people of Manscaped. Manscaped.com. 20% off at Manscaped.com when you use promo code Farzy. That's 20% off for their Platinum Package 4.0. That includes their 4.0 ear and nose hair trimmer, their Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, and they all come with skin-safe technology that helps reduce the risk of nicks so you can manscape with confidence and comfort. So do what I do, ladies and gentlemen. Take care of your goods with the goods from Manscaped. Online at manscaped.com, promo code Farzy, you get 20% off and free shipping with promo code Farzy at manscaped.com. How about Freestone Farms CBD? FreestoneFarmsCBD.com. If you like CBD, if you enjoy CBD, if you're looking for a different CBD, try Freestone Farms CBD at Freestone Farms CBD, where, yes, there too, you get 20% off when you use promo code Farzy. You'll enjoy their tropical tasting Bayox that clocks in at a chart-topping 24.1%. Oh, my goodness. And their amazing, incredible, super CBD, which is half Hindu, Kush, and 21%. The genetics of these guys are off the charts. So sit back, relax, wind down from your workout. Relax at the end of your day. Little Freestone Farms CBD, FreestoneFarmsCBD.com. How about the amazing people of Mojo? Download the Mojo app to your phone right now. Each player is a stock, and they got a share price. They rise and fall as the season goes on. In the NFL, they have over 300 skilled players, wide receivers, quarterbacks, running backs, tight ends, and they all have a share price attached to them, and it all goes up and down as the season goes on, and it goes through the offseason. So guess what? There's no offseason. Anything that can affect the player's performance on the field, whether it's news, whether it's injury, whatever it might be, it all happens in real time on the Mojo app. So make sure you take advantage of this and download the app to your phone. Available on iOS. Must be present in New Jersey. When you download it to your phone, must be 21 or older and present in New Jersey. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. The Mojo app, a great time for all sports fans. For all football fans, download the Mojo app. The players have always been stocks. Now you can make some money off it for yourself with the Mojo app, mojo.com. Also, chance to win $10,000 in shares once you download the app on your phone. How about the amazing people at PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs. That's PHLSportsNation.com. Let's get into the chat check and see how you guys are doing today after a tough Phillies loss. April, I saw you in here earlier. Kevin, April, that game was so frustrating. You know what it felt like? Hopelessness is what it felt like for me. I shouldn't be smiling when I say that, but it was beyond frustrating. I agree with you, April. But the feeling of hopelessness while watching that game, it was like, especially on the pitches, like I highlighted earlier, the Drury home run missed his spot up in the zone. The Bell homer, tad up in the zone. I think if you're being particular, you'd say he missed his spot. The Kim leadoff pitch was a good leadoff single in the fifth was a good pitch down in the zone. The RBI single to his brother was up in the zone, made it 4-3. The up in the zone pitch he made to Profar on the curveball that hung up there. The Soto pitch was a good pitch. That was it was far inside, and he just turned on it. He was waiting on it. So I can't get crazy about location. But while these guys are just sitting on the fast stuff, I guess, to combine sinker and fastball, man, it wasn't looking pretty. And it was looking like, wow, he's actually making some good pitches here, and they're still clobbering him. That's not good. That makes me feel like he's losing life on a fastball, or a sinker isn't exactly sinking, whatever it might be. Good God, man. A feeling of hopelessness. April, they were swinging at some ugly pitches. Hey, by the way, you know what? You know what's going to get swept under the rug a little bit here? Yeah, the Phillies got 4 runs, but let's face it, that was some awful fielding by the Padres in the second inning. They had that little bloop that fell in front of Soto and right by Castellanos. They had another pitch, I think it was off Sosa's bat, that landed right in front of their left fielder. That if that happens in Philly, I don't think Kyle Schwarber is getting booed, but anybody else makes that play the way they made the play, they're getting booed. Bohm had a dink and dunk, a little bloop over the middle that just landed in the outfield. It was nice. Probably one of the more decent hits in that game. A couple other situations. Harper had a leadoff double in the 7th inning, I want to say it was. They couldn't bring him home after that. Got him to 3rd. They couldn't get him home after that. JT Realmuto had a situation there in the top of the 5th inning with Kyle Schwarber, who worked a walk to lead off the inning, got on second base after he stole second. And then JT Realmuto got called out on that pitch. At first it looked like a ball. I thought it was a bad call. I looked at StatCast that actually had it like the outside corner, the inside corner of the plate, but I thought it crossed the plate as a strike, but was caught around the ankles. Like, it was a good curveball that Snell, I think, was still pitching at the time, that he threw in that game. Yeah, because Snell looked shocked that it was called a strike. But Blake Snell goes out there and throws that pitch, and he gets the pitch. I thought it was a borderline. JT didn't like it, though. But, yeah, frustrating. T-Bro, Padres are about to see what a real postseason crowd is like. Damn right, T-Bro. Mihai, what's up, Mihai? Morning, Farzy and everyone. Blowing a 4-run lead ain't anything new with this team, sadly enough. Hey, how long is our bad game? Hey, as long as our bad game is out of here for this series, stay calm and collected. I'm going to do my best. I feel like I've done that for the most part. Have I lost my mind? Have I gotten crazy? Not yet. I'm keeping it together. Just keep it together. I'm going to keep it together. Falconator, you're an Italian from the tri-state area. It's a prerequisite to be emotional. I was talking to my cousin the other day, and it was, I forget how we got on the subject, but it was like, yes, we come from a passionate people. It is funny. I don't like to blame my ethnicity for my ethnic background for how I act, but sometimes I just can't. There's definitely a difference, because being multicultural with the Italians and the Polish on two sides of the family, I see how the Polish people act. I see how the Italians act. It's a different people. The biggest difference, while I'm on the subject, is death. All right, not to be morbid. The biggest difference I noticed between my Polish side and the Italian side is death. The Italian side, we eat like crazy. Oh, no. Of course we do. The Polish side, we get hammered. I don't even think we eat. We might even fast for 3 days and just drink our meals. Like, that's how somebody dies. We all get together, and next thing you know, we're blackout drunk. That's pretty much how it goes down. The Italian side, I put on 20 pounds. Comfort food comes down to. Ray Fitzgerald. Oh, wait, April. Sorry. April, I will absolutely listen to this album. I think it's awesome. I love that they're doing a Christmas album. Falconator 51, and I say that as a compliment. No. I take it as a compliment. No, don't get me wrong. I take it as a compliment. The emotional thing that comes with my fit. Yes, that and probably talking with my hands. Those are probably the two things. But Falconator, I appreciate you. April, hello again. Ray Fitzgerald. Let's give it a month, then we'll see what Harden's doing. Yeah, I am very interested to see a motivated James Harden. And it's not just like the high school Harry stuff of like he likes his situation. It's the biggest motivate. Money's pretty damn motivating. And if he's playing for his next contract, which is why he didn't sign a long-term deal, yes, it was let's get the warm and fuzzies out of the way. Oh man, James Harden took less money to play here in Philadelphia. Yeah, he also took less money to show he could still play and maybe cash in on that next deal. And I still think he's getting some other kind of deal going on as well. I believe you could call them conspiracy theories or you could call it common sense. Do you think James Harden just out of nowhere is going to take $15 million less than he could have for this season without getting a little under the table? Huh? Getting greased somewhere else? For those that are unfamiliar, greased is a term for tipping. a little money. Can you open that door for me? Oh, they said we can't open this door. Yeah, how about $100? You greased them. Next thing you know, the door's open. So yes, he took $15 million less. Let's just live in a world that's the reality for a second here. And I don't think any athlete's taking less money when they don't have to. And if they are, there might be some kind of other deal attached. And I do think it is a little bit too much of a coincidence for Michael Rubin to step away, and then all of a sudden James Harden is still there, and then he also goes to the party in the Hamptons at Michael Rubin's spot. So I'm going to go ahead and say that it's not that much of a conspiracy theory as much as I think it's common sense. Now, the league is investigating, apparently nothing yet, so we'll see. Apparently they didn't find anything, so there you go. We'll see what happens there. But it doesn't make any sense to me to just believe that James Harden all of a sudden took less money. But let's put it like this. He could still make even more money on another contract. If he shows that he's still pretty damn good at basketball in the MVP conversation, if he shows that, which I still think, by the way, is not happening. But if this is the bar he is setting for the rest of the season, then okay. One game in. I still don't think he maintains it, but I'm just saying if that's a pretty good outcome for the Sixers. And it's a pretty damn good outcome for James Harden, who once he shows he can still play at an extremely high level, can really cash in on another deal. And I do think a big part of it also is that he's been in the league for a long time. He's won an MVP award. And it'd also be nice to win a championship. And they weren't going to do that under the current contract structure, the salary cap structure that they were under before he signed his new deal. So it's not just a conspiracy theory. I think a lot of it also goes with common sense here with James Harden. But yeah, Ray, look, give it a month, and we'll really make the proper assessment. Sean Gillespie says, good morning. Good morning, Sean. Yeah, so that's what I got for you there. Sean Gillespie, Harden wine flavored ice cream at every Sixers game for $29.99. Is that true, Sean? Is that on the menu? I saw Vetri. I saw Mark Vetri. I saw Mark Vetri's out there making things happen at the Wells Fargo Center. So why not? Why not James Harden? Get some wine in there as well. Why not? Make some deals, make some moves. That's the chat check. Appreciate all you guys. You guys are fantastic. Let's get into the morning rush. Brought to you by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. As I said, 7:30 tonight. Sixers take on the Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee Bucks 0-0 on the season. Sixers come into their home opener at 0-1, looking for their first win of the year. So we'll see how they fare in tonight's ball game. This is all honesty. When you score 33 points in game one, when you play as well as you did, you look as athletic as you did. I want to see it again and again and again from James Harden. I don't think this is going to be a game where you're going to see a tussle like you saw in Milwaukee, to be in Boston. But I want Joel Embiid to not have 6 turnovers in this game. I know he controls the ball a lot. I'm looking to see that usage rate drop, of course, from last year to this year. If you have guys that are legit scorers, like you have James Harden, you have a guy like Tyrese Maxey, maybe Tobias Harris gets it going again, 18-point game for him, very much under the radar, then I'd like to see a little bit less usage there for Joel Embiid. But with less usage, I would also like fewer turnovers. 6 turnovers is way too much for the big man. Don't want to see him have that. That's something he's got to get rid of. So I'd like to see that improved upon tonight. I want to see another great game from James Harden, less turnovers from Joel Embiid, and Maxey get a little bit more involved early in the game than I saw last time. Also, him and PJ Tucker, hopefully no on-court meetings that they need to kind of right the ship with wherever they're going. So Sixers tip-off tonight, 7:30, South Philly for their home opener. Flyers. I didn't forget about you. 3-1-0 on the season. 3-1-0. They lose last night 4-3. Travis Konechny had another goal. He's got 4 goals on the season. James Van Riemsdyk had another goal last night. Nice to see that for JVRs. That's 2 on the season now. Sandstrom did a heck of a job in net. Apparently, he's not very good glove side. That's what I'm learning about the young goaltender. Not very good glove side. He got beat a couple of times with a couple of wristers there. A couple of strong moves to the glove side as well. Wasn't able to come up. Great with the pad, though. Holy moly. Making saves with the pads last night, was he? Kick, save, and a beaut. That phrase came to mind more than a couple of times last night. Flyers also had their first goal of the game disallowed because of an offsides call. Right. It was the right call to make. I thought it was interesting, though. Was it my man? Who was on the call last night? I know it was Jonesy. Was it Edzo? Was Edzo Yolchik, I think, on the call as well? Flipping around last night. But they were looking, I think, at TK originally for the offsides call, and was it Morgan Frost that was offsides? Whoever it wasn't TK. So I think they were looking at the wrong thing initially, and then the officials they got it right, though it did catch the Flyers, cost Flyers goal. Flyers also on the power play allowed a couple of shorthand opportunities there that I don't really want to see, and I don't think John Tortorella was too happy about that in the moment. But Flyers lost tonight 4-3. It was their the first loss of the season, unfortunately. I mentioned the coordinator spoke yesterday for the Eagles. Nothing really jumped out to me, but something is still insane to me with the Eagles. And during the bye week, I'll usually just kind of go over some of the things that they've done to that point in the season. And one of the things that just continues to baffle me is how this Eagles defense they've made such a jump. And look, they've gotten the players. So you could talk about Jonathan Gannon being better, whatever. They've gotten better players. I think that's the number one reason as to why they're better. And I do think that Jonathan Gannon has been a lot more aggressive to start this season than he was last season. Because it's not just about blitzes getting home and having better players that do that. It's about actually seeing 5 guys rush the quarterback, 6 guys rush the quarterback. Trent Edwards trying to run up the middle of the offense, trying to rush a bad play for the quarterback. I've seen that more so this year to start the season than I feel like I really have throughout the entire last year. And last year, you saw them really start to do it towards the end of the season, but even more now to start this year. You've seen them be more aggressive. With that, you have seen their sack numbers skyrocket. You have seen their turnovers. They're leading the NFL in that category. When it comes to differential, when it comes to takeaways, fewest points allowed, they're pretty damn good in that category too. You're watching it. It feels like you're watching a totally different defense. At times, you see them revert back to what they did for the majority of last year. And it also feels like they took a long time to really unleash the beast when it came to Hassan Reddick, when that should have been obvious from the get-go. He said, and it burned in my brain, and I know I said it a number of times, but when he came in here, Hassan Reddick, he was asked point blank, when are you at your best? What do you do that you think is special? Let me go out there and play football. Let me go out there and play fast. I didn't feel like the Eagles were really letting him. I didn't really feel like Jonathan Gannon was letting him play fast in the early goings of the season. Then it felt like that Vikings game, the Jaguars game, Commanders game. It felt like, oh, man, unleash the hounds, man. He's going bonkers. And really, since then, he has. One of the things Jonathan Gannon did say yesterday was how Hassan Reddick has, it was like a line from the movie Taken. He has a particular set of skills that make him very dangerous for quarterbacks in the NFL. And man, he has shown that off as the Temple grad. Not too shabby there. And then the other thing is the obvious. It's Jalen Hurts. Yeah, I feel like I'm watching a much different quarterback than I watched a year ago. A much different quarterback than I watched a year ago. I say it all the time. And here's one more thing I'll show you. The Ben Simmons shot chart one more time. Okay. A lot of the times we were teased in the offseason about this guy improving, expanding his game. And it's made us really lose hope in how much a player can really mature and improve. Tyrese Maxey's done it, so that's cool. But in the football world, Jalen Hurts has done it tenfold. He looks like a totally different guy. Still running the football a lot, and I think a lot of those runs come as a product of an offensive line breakdown, a very aggressive defensive coordinator trying to bring him down in the backfield, and he's been sacked a bunch, but sacked 3 times just last week. They have gotten to him. But the escapability there, the ability to extend plays, the ability to keep his eyes downfield, I think has improved tenfold from what you saw last year. The accuracy has improved tremendously. The deep ball, I wish I saw it a little bit more, but that's improved tremendously as well. He's had a couple of occasions where he's been able to show that off, so that's been great. During this time, during the bye week, I like to go back and look at things that jump out. Number one thing is obviously Jalen Hurts. Right after that, it's how much different this defense looks. A team that was bottom in turnovers, a team that was bottom in terms of sacks last year, they're getting after it. And they're one of the best teams in the NFL at both of those categories, this season. So let's hope that continues when they come back from their bye week and face the Pittsburgh Steelers. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. That's the Farzy Show, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by the great people over there at Steven Singer Jewelers. Jim Hyde produced the program. Did a wonderful job as per usual. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is a Buzz Sports Entertainment production. Coming up tomorrow, Phillies with the off day today. Then they get back at it with Ranger Suarez on the hill at Citizens Bank Park. And I know all you people are going to show up and just give them hell as you continue the Red October. Goes down smooth. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow. See ya.